Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you. I am working with a cut file from the Cut Shop today, and I am using this file called Flower Garden, but I set it up in my Silhouette Cameo to only cut part of the file because I knew I was going to go ahead and have the file go off the edge of the page. I wanted the flowers to kind of go off one side. And so that's really kind of all I knew that I wanted to do with this layout. In fact, I thought I was going to use one of the two photographs that you see sitting out on my desk, but I didn't even use one of those. I used something different. I am using the collection by Coco Vanilla Studios called Happiness. Yeah. And so I'm going to back this file. I'm not going to make you watch me back the whole thing, but I am using this green paper that comes from that collection for the leaves. And I have used this on my last couple of layouts. So you have seen this before. And then I'm going to use one piece of pattern paper that on one side has these teeny tiny flower print on it with all these colors, and then the other side is basically pink. And some of my flowers I'm going to use with this flower paper, and some of the flowers I will end up cutting out with the other side, which is pink. So all I'm doing here is I'm drawing around the cut file and then I'm gluing it down. I'm using my adhesive that I always use. I'm using a fine liner bottle, and then I put my Scotch tacky glue adhesive in the bottle, and it's perfect for working with these little cut files. So this is actually the next day, and the cut file is all done. It didn't take me a whole day to do it, but I just ran out of time and I needed to do some other things. So I did all of that other life stuff, and then I came back to this the following day. In the meantime, I remembered that I had this acrylic shine, and so I thought that matched the paper really well, so I thought I would use that. And I found this other photo of my daughter, and this was actually from Easter this year, and she is playing with a ribbon, like a dancing ribbon. I don't know what you call that. And she's dancing around the yard. And so I thought it was pretty. I actually had printed out 3 thinking I might use them for another layout and then didn't end up using them. So the other thing that I did off camera is I went ahead and I fussy cut a bunch of those teeny tiny flowers that are in that pattern paper. And I didn't cut them all. I just cut a few, and that was super fun. And I decided that I would use those and scatter those across the page. I was digging through my stash and I found these Pink Fresh Studio little hearts. And they are, I don't end up using the hearts, but I do end up using a couple of the banners off the hearts. They're like dimensional. Okay, so I decided that I would go ahead and put a little more of this paper over on the left side. If you've been watching my videos lately, you've noticed probably that I have been tearing paper a lot. I really like the torn paper look, and I like, sometimes I cut it straight and I don't tear it, but the last few times it seems like I have been tearing paper a lot. So what I did is I just went ahead and glued a little strip behind the paper so that it was even with the white cardstock, and then I'm just cutting, or not cutting, but ripping some of that off. So I'm thinking that I'm going to set up kind of like this and add a little bit of tangled thread behind my photo. And I was trying to decide on some blue because the S in shine is kind of a dark blue. And so I was thinking I might need to, even though there is blue and dark blue in this collection, I was thinking I might need to add some more than what is already out there to the page. So I'm kind of playing around with that a little bit and trying to decide what I want to do. Let's see. In the meantime, I also pulled out some flowers from the collection, from the ephemera. And then I also grabbed, if you saw, I don't know, a layout or two ago, I made, like, fussy cut a whole bunch of those butterflies out of the butterfly paper that comes in this collection. And so when I did that, I still had some left over. So I thought I might use a few more of those. And then now I'm just kind of messing around. I sped this up because I'm moving things around a lot, which I do just to kind of see what I like and what I don't like. Oh, I kind of like that flower there. I kind of wish I would have left that flower there now. But anyway, that blue flower looked nice. But I actually end up liking what I end up doing in the end. So I went back and forth from the sticker sheet to, because there's a couple butterflies on there, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to use the sticker butterflies or the one that I cut out, or what. So after I move these around a little bit, I decide, sometimes, I don't know if you ever do this, but sometimes I take a photograph of my layout when it's before I glue things down and just kind of when it's in mid making, mid design, and I look at it as a photo. And that sometimes makes me change a few things. And I did that, and I decided that I wanted to move the cut file over even further to the right. And then I cut off the edge there, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some of those little pieces that I cut off to the left side of my photo. And then it kind of brings the cut file across the page a little bit to the other side. And I like the way that that kind of ties the cut file together with the whole page, so it's not just sitting there. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it really, but I just like the way it ended up looking. So what I'm doing now is I'm just cutting those pieces, or not cutting, gluing those pieces behind my photo so that I can place some tangled thread. It was driving me crazy. I also off camera pulled out a bunch of Flair from a Flair for Buttons, and I thought that the Flair might work on this layout maybe as the center of flowers, or I had pulled some out that had little arrows on it. I thought it could point to my daughter's picture or whatever. So I'm just kind of auditioning those Flair and trying to figure out where they go. The placement of my photo, I ended up going with her looking kind of toward the center, but also she's looking kind of up. So that's why I sprinkled those flowers kind of going up and to the left, because that's the way she's looking. So it kind of looks like she's looking at those flowers and that butterfly that's flying up there. So, all right, so let's see, what else did I do? I found a little, in the ephemera pack, I found a little die cut that says "Stay Colorful." That of course matches everything because it's the same collection. And so I grabbed that and put that above the photo. And then I found a sticker to put under Shine. I think it says Free Spirit, which in this photo she really looks like a free spirit. And then I went back to those Pink Fresh Studio hearts that had the little sentiments on them that were dimensional, and I pulled the sentiments off. And so I'm using 3 of those on my page, kind of one above the picture, below the picture, and then one up in the left corner. So now I'm ready to start gluing everything down, even more so than what I had already done. So that's, everything is kind of placed, and I'm not sure that I change anything else. I think I add a few splatters, and that is about it. One of the things that I also did was, do you see how that flower on the right of the photo kind of overlaps the photo? It fits like right where in between her arm and her body. It just fits there perfectly. And I like the way that looks, partly because I feel like, once again, it's all about kind of making connections and giving something a home or something to sit in, so it's not just floating out in space. And I think it connects by overlapping the photo there just a little bit. It connects the photo to the flowers and just makes it look a little bit more cohesive. So that's kind of my reasoning behind some of the things that I ended up doing in this layout. And now I'm just using that same fine liner bottle. It's great because it has this fine tip, and I'm just adding a little dot of glue to each one of those little tiny flowers that I cut out. So I'm using a couple of my Shimmers products. I think I'm using Pink Stilettos and Junie Be Blue, which are both from Shimmers. One is a Colorings product and one is a Vibes product. And the Junie Be Blue I am using and to kind of add a little bit more of that kind of blue color to the layout. And then the Pink Stilettos is a perfect match to that pink. So then I'm just kind of dabbing it so that it will dry, so that I can take my pictures and finish it all up. So here come the close-ups. There's a close-up look at that flare. Isn't that beautiful? Both of those have this beautiful design in them. They're watercolor looking. I will link what they are below. And then there's a look at the title and a good close-up of the cut file. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and I will see you in my next video.